you get wildfires and forest fires all over the place. You blame some other country for it. You purposely burn shit out. It's no accident. We know it's no accident. To displace people, to make people homeless, to create more angst and anger and everything else. You get Herzog comes to Australia, goes to a couple of states. They bring their internationally sponsored guerrilla protest. Guerrilla protest war tribe with them from Central Casting, and then everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Cool, drop that pile of shit there. That's off and running quite well. Goes back home. We're still carrying on like fucking idiots. People are displaced everywhere. Places that they want to develop flattened. Certain places are great economically as far as to run the places that they've flattened once they're built. Like Australia, sitting on shitloads of oil and shitloads of uranium. That's just two things that we're sitting on shitloads of. Untapped, mind you. But there's something in the way. There's pesky Australians. What do we do with them? Well, we put them in 15-minute digital cities and we keep them numb and dumb and stupid and dumb them down some more and dumb them down some more, and they do that for a generation or two. So everything's a long plan. It's a long game plan. Think about what sort of a world you want for your kids. Okay. Now think about the people that have all the power. What sort of world do they want for their kids? We all want something better for our kids than what we've had, yeah? So imagine what sort of a picture they have in mind for their kids. One where they get to keep that control because they wouldn't want us to get our hands on them if they happen to topple down to our level. There's a lot of us have got a lot of vitriol pent up. Me, not so much. I'm not the get mad person. Not even necessarily the get even person. I'm the get right person. Make it right. Make sure it doesn't happen again. Everybody's so busy reinventing the wheel, they're trying to make squares turn. Everybody's so angry, they're just thinking about the fight. They're just swinging and punching at nothing. What happens once you win the fight? If you win the fight, which you're not going to win the fight. Everybody's getting angry. Oh, geez, they get rid of the unions. You're going to have no union. Like, you won't even have a union to turn to because they're dismantling the unions. That was always the plan. See, some people just want a life. Other people, they want an ideology to win. This is still the free world versus the isms and ocracies. It's still that. It's not just communism we're fighting against, or democracy, or technocracy, or feudalism, or plutocracy. This is the people versus all the control mechanisms, all the systems. And it would appear that communism actually won and just rebranded as democracy. or democracy took on a new face and kept its name. They changed the engine and gearbox and the dip, but it still looks like the same car. It's not the same car. It's a Ford with the Chev badge. an engine out of a Jag. Damn, it's not what you think it is. It's not what it looks like. And what's going to happen? We're going to go into lockdown and shit. Places will be destroyed. They want riots to get to that point. That's what they want. They want us to chuck the biggest tantrum that we trash our own house, so to speak. We completely ruin the sandpit. If I can't have the sandpit, no one can, you know. They want to drive us to that point where we destroy our own towns and cities. We start looting and pillaging and just running riot. To the point everyone's scared to go outside. And no means to protect ourselves or our properties. Think of the principal out of Back to the Future 2 or whatever it was, when they were in the future, and he's still living in his house in a town that's gone to shit. And he's chasing the high school kids off of his property with a shotgun because he's the only one that remains staunch. You bum! Except we've only got sticks and stones and words. And people get upset with words. So what's the plan? Well, how many of the next generation are going to be successful at breeding? Just think about that. How many of the next generation are going to be able to breed successfully without the kids being mongers? Like, full on, like, crayon eating fucking little Ralphies or whatever his name is. Off The Simpsons. So what do they plan to do? Is he going to put us in pig pens? Shoe boxes? Apartment buildings? They're trying to get one built in Devonport. They'll get it done. What do you think all the properties that are, we can't build a hotel there because of the penguins. You better believe that they're going to put something there. The property's been sold. But he's not going to spend all those millions of dollars on Crown land, on Commonwealth land, on Aboriginal land. It's all Aboriginal land. And everyone, as far as I'm concerned, everyone born here is an Aboriginal. We are native to this land. Where we're born, it's where we come from. We're all Indigenous. That piece of shit over there in Smithton from the Brahma brothers telling me that fucking, we can't put in for a job for you because you're not Indigenous. I fucking near smashed his fucking head in with his own laptop. Tell me I'm not fucking Indigenous. I was born in Devonport. I was born in a hospital that no longer exists. Fucking maggot. Not Indigenous. No, I just don't tick the box. I'm an Australian. End of story. It's disappointing. It really is. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to think that I'm in a world where all these so-called successful, smart, intelligent people are so fucking stupid. They're dumb as a fucking box of rocks, a lot of yous. We'll go and protest a little bit more, will we? These crooked communist fucking rip-off fucking scumbag unions. How did they ever get anything done? How did the Greenies ever get anything? Look back through history. and think about the people that ever won anything and how did they accomplish it. They stopped the machine from turning. They stopped the money machine. They switch off the power. They get in the way. They hinder it and hinder it and hinder it. But they don't get violent. They don't get rowdy. They just use their smarts. They make sure that, sorry, it can't work. Why? There's always hippies fucking chained to these trees and shit. You can't get the job done. Why? No one will come to work. They're not going to work until they get what they want. Eventually they get what they want. Now can we get to work? Well, this needs to be done the same way, but with absolute fucking conviction, absolute dedication and purpose and strategy. And like, no, we're not coming back to work until you're gone. You're just going to have to go. We're not fucking supporting you anymore. We support them, not the other way around. Even the unemployed support them by validating them, by needing their money, which is not their money. It's just a lolly wrapper. It's almost the right shape, isn't it? That there 10-cent coin is worth more than a $100 note. Think about that. That 10-cent coin is worth more than a $100 note. I can turn that into a washer and use it. A packer, a spacer. I can drill a hole in that and use it for something. It's actually useful. I can melt that down and make something with it. Let me repeat that. That 10-cent coin is worth more than a $100 note. Just in what it's made of. It's made of something that's worth something. The $100 note's not worth anything. Money is already worthless. It's always been worthless. Always. It's about to be worth even less than worthless. Why? It's just going to be a 1 or a 0. Dead set. It's all going to be binary. We've always had the problem where there's not even a third of the world's debt in actual currency. Not even a third, because it's all debt. It's all debt. Every single bit of money that there is in circulation is based on debt. Once that actually sinks in, and you realise, hang on, I don't own shit. No, you're fucking up to the eyeballs, mate. I owe no one nothing. Never had a loan. I'm never going to get a loan. I don't want to owe anyone anything. Me sitting here unemployed in my fucking housing house that, as far as I'm concerned, I paid for when I was working in taxes when I had 2 jobs and I never got nothing back for 10 years. I've fucking paid for this house. So I'm like, well, and my royal estate was stolen just like yours. You got a receipt for it called a birth certificate. The problem is the royal estate's only attached to the last name, and they've decided that they'll change how our registry is lodged from the family of to now your whole name includes the family name. So every single birth registered had a royal estate lodged with the international with the international trust. exchange and international trust and exchanges. Problem is that's like a bar of gold and 3 acres. What is it? You 3 acres and a mule, as they used to say, or 30 acres and a mule. I think it's 3 acres and a bar of gold is a real estate. It's not enough gold or fucking. That's why they say that there's too many people in the world. The world can't sustain it. Because people are starting to wake up. Now what happens when everybody wants their bar of gold and their 3 acres? That they know they owe us. It doesn't exist. There's not enough to go around. They created this problem, not us. It's not that we bred too much. They lodged too many royal estates. They lodged one for every first name instead of last name. So I have one. If I had any brothers or sisters, they'd have one each. That's why originally your name is supposed to be written, but of the family such and such. David Allen of the Family Rogers. Remember that old show, the Swiss Family Robinson? It wasn't the Swiss Robinsons, the Swiss Family Robinson. It's not actually pronounced the Rogerses. It's the Family Rogers. I learnt that at school. I learnt that, I actually did, honestly, I learnt that at school. I don't teach that at school anymore. My kids weren't taught that. I was. How it is written changes you from being a person to a corporate entity. If it's written in all capitals, you're a corporate entity. It's your title. The title is your family name. That's why it's not Mr. David, it's Mr. Rogers. It's your title, Mr. Rogers. David Allen is my name, Rogers isn't, it's my family name. It's the name of my family, the family tree name. My name's just David Allen. Lodged some paperwork with the police today and she looked at me, he wasn't sure. I said, yeah, no, that's sorry about my old literature education. And she, all she could write on the receipt was David Allen. She couldn't put my last name. She realised what I meant. I'm expecting to visit in the next few days. Next door got raided. Convenient. Another story. I just found out today. They'll be wanting to get dirt on me. Is what that'll be about. I ain't got none. I've told the world. You all know. Go back through my videos. Everything. It's called repentance. Real, honest, truthful repentance. I didn't go in a little box and tell some dude that's probably asleep or playing with himself. I told the world. I'm unashamed. How about you? It's Dr. Phil, what's his name? Phil Robertson, the duck commander. I'm unashamed. How about you? The steel's on, guys. The steel's on, and you're falling for it. It's a heist. It's a heist. Think about how you get half a dozen crackheads around here or whatever. I used to see it all the time. Ed Pennington and his fat ugly girlfriend and their mates used to come in the Woolies, and he'd always come in, "You got any dollar bread now?" That was the IFL manager there. His fat missus would be walking around, and they'd come in and separate, and everybody'd be watching them. And they'd all go and purposely pick the people that was working on the floor and start talking to them while someone else is sticking meat down their dacks. Sticking meat packs down their dacks. You know, the unions have fucking ripped us off $16 billion. $80 billion going into housing, and we don't have the houses. Oh shit. Tell us something we don't know, fuck ass. No, this and that. Oh, what did I say? What did I say weeks ago? You watched the Woodrow Commission come back into play. Didn't I? I said it. You watch the Woodrow Commission come back into play. The Woodrow Commission is Australia's Epstein list. And you're all going to go barking up the tree on that one. While they're building the digital infrastructure around your feet. And you don't even see it. You watch. I don't even watch them. I've got no time for them anymore. But I'll guarantee you that Bosie and Leibold and Guru and all the other Gronks and fucking White Rabbit or whatever her name is, I bet you they're all hopping up and down about the $80 billion and the $16 billion and the Woodrow Commission. Oh, yeah, it's Q. Q's like, you know. Q's not doing shit. There's no Q. Q is the invisible hero that doesn't exist. The chosen. Well, it's the White Hats. It's the White Hats. Come on. It's Easter again. It's Easter again. There's chocolates out everywhere. You're going to go out in the bush and look for rabbits that lay eggs? You may as well, because that's how gullible you are. This is why I want to talk to people. I actually have solid, real information, and I want to talk to Craig Cole. I want to make sure that he's not jumping on the bandwagon, because I actually think he's genuine. But, geez, I don't know. It's just too convenient. The timing's too convenient. He gets on Nugget News, and just after Nuggets had these couple of people talking about the Freemasons and being child sex slaves and all that. And, well, they was out and about doing this 3 or 4 years ago. Same Sheilas, and they're back again. And what about all the other people, you know, the people that... the ones that you're telling us about. I'm not saying they don't exist, but you're telling a story. In the meantime, look at all this other shit going up, hopping up and down. All this other shit is going on. No one's even paying attention. The worst distraction is the one that works because it's real. See, in chess, you don't always sacrifice your pawn. If it means you're going to put the other player in checkmate, you sacrifice the king. Have you ever wondered why the queen is the highest prize in chess? Because the queen breeds. The queen can always find another mate. The bloodline remains. You sacrifice a knight, you sacrifice a bishop, you sacrifice a castle. A castle is a whole empire. When you look at it in the real world, a castle is an entire kingdom. An empire. You sacrifice that whole chunk of land. Why? So they can have it. Why? So that we can fucking keep an eye on them. We've got them where we want them. They're right there. In something that's worth nothing to us. Let them win that fight. Let them have it. Why? Because it's not worth saving. Doesn't have to be a pawn. A win's a win. And second place is first loser. I will bet you this 3/4 of a packet of Soothers that Larry Fink is the head CEO of the corporation whose subsidiary company is running Housing Choices. It's not about the houses. Don't care about that. They'll burn them down. They don't give a fuck. We're sitting on the top of minerals anyway that they want to mine. And they shall provide us with little cities and block apartment buildings to move us into our little matchbox homes. And we'll own nothing and we'll be happy. You know, Larry Fink, Donald Trump's mate. The biggest property owner in the world, whose company's GDP is greater than the entire Western countries combined. You don't need to know the facts and figures on numbers and shit, and it matters not. It's not just the reaction that you get from doing this thing when it comes to cause and effect and dialectics. It's also what does it take the attraction from. It's got to be a big enough attention getter, like the laws that were just rushed through Parliament in January, giving police special powers to be able to detain anyone for pretty much anything and question them where no comment is not an acceptable answer and you have no memorandum rights. You don't have the right to say nothing. In other words, they're going whatever it takes to make you talk. This is secret police. The secret police of it's just the Stasi 2.0. It's the same thing as ICE in America. carte blanche, no rules apply to them. Except they're granting these powers to all of our police. Then they do not have the mental fucking maturity, empathy or psychological dexterity to not break every humanitarian law ever thought of. They live for that shit. I don't think people really grasp you just don't grasp the concept or have any idea of the gravitas of this situation. You are not going to defeat it. You have to make it not exist. The system depends on your engagement. It depends on you fighting it. Because it also knows that what now? Yeah, what now, smart ass? Now look what we've got that you didn't know we had. All the stuff that we were building and designing and working on and stockpiling while you were busy playing happy skirmishes with sparkler bombs and fireworks. It's fine, I know, like, God's got this. It is, like, to me, it's fine. I am now, like, I'm in boots and all. That's it. I'm in boots and all. I know this is the script, and it's not called script yours for nothing. Scriptures. It's not the script for nothing, because it's the script. The devil is using God's script against us, and he knows that. God's got no time for the lukewarm. He's got no time for the wishy-washies and I'll just go to church on Sunday and pray. As long as they let me alone. I believe in God. Obviously not. Because you don't take him serious. There is not a thing happening today anywhere in the world that's not in there. Let that sink in. Just let that fucking sink in, will ya? There is not a thing going on in the world anywhere that's not in that book. And there's not a thing that's not going on that is. It's to the T, man. To the letter. To the full stop, the comma, the everything. Everything is in there in chronological order. I'm good. I'm fine. So there's also a thing that God will provide for those who do not take on the mark of the beast. How does he provide? How does he provide? Obviously, the only way they can work, obviously, is that there are going to be little places that they just cannot penetrate. They're not going to get their agenda done, and it's like, no matter what they do, there will be groups of people who will take care of one another somehow. With strategy, with planning, with just not playing their game. See, this is what gets me. The cops know I'm never going to shoot anyone. They know that. They know I think all life's precious. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think life is precious. I could easily just, nah, fucking deal with this at court, no, I plead guilty, whatever, get home and done with and fuck off. And be fine somewhere, working for a farmer somewhere, or, we'd be fine. But that's not what you're supposed to do. That's not obeying the commandments. That is not having oil in my lantern. It's even a case of, it's not the end of the world. Not yet. We've still got 1,000 years of God's reign. 1,000 years. 1,000 years of God's reign. We kind of do have a third testament to write. The last 1,000-year reign. And what happens during that 1,000 years. It tells you how, or everything, but we've still got to write it. Who did what, who said what, who does what, who doesn't do. Who rises, who falls, all that shit. During the 1,000 year of God's reign. See, when he came the first time, he didn't come to bring peace. He brought a sword. He came to cause division. Families were even split up. Man against son, wife against daughter. Everything. Why? To sort out the wheat from the chaff. This is what's going on. This is the great divide. Sorting out the wheat from the chaff. But that is so wholly and solely on the choices that you make as to whether you're going to be wheat or chaff. I wasn't going to get biblical on this, but I kind of... It's impossible not to, isn't it? The only people that don't see what's going on are the ones that won't admit that this is you're so hell-bent. You're so hell-bent, literally hell-bent on disproving God that you'll go to hell for it. You're so hell-bent on proving your atheism as a religion. You're so hell-bent on being non-religious, you've turned it into a religion. That's what you've done. Atheism is the worst religion out there. Because it has no direction, no plan, no grounded morals that everyone can agree on. Oh, no, that's all right, but it's not though. Oh, well, I agree to disagree. There you go. Bam. You've already fell over. You're a fucking idiot. No time for you. I'm walking out of this conversation. Because you've got no morals. You don't stand for anything. I'm not going to fall down with you. Go and get stuffed. Now the people that have thought it's like they turned on me or something, like, I don't really care. I'm walked away from everyone just about. Because you're so hell bent on trying to convince me that I'm wrong. Why? Why, does it frighten you? I don't get it. Why? Fine. Don't actually need you. I don't need you to be. I don't need to be right. I don't need you to be wrong. But apparently, you people do. You agree to disagree so long as you get the last word. That's not agreeing to disagree. That's knocking the chess pieces over and strutting around like a pigeon claiming you won. I don't care. Right. This is going to end up being about now. I don't care. I don't know if it will upload it or not. I don't know. Might just go into my vlog file. For those who are like, want to fuck around looking at my computer, wouldn't be the first time. You know, like when you deleted David Miller's files out of my computer. The video footage of him attacking me with a hammer, and I sat there and watched you doing it. Unplugged my computer, and half of it was gone when I plugged it back in. That was a bit random, wasn't it? I'm sitting there watching the second cursor move around on my computer screen. Let's go over here. Stupid mouse.
Mathematically proves something about the government's 5% deposit scheme that they will never admit publicly. And if you're planning to enter the property market in 2026 or 2027, this will directly affect you. Hey guys, it's Scott here, and right now, while everyone is distracted by corruption scandals, budget blowouts, housing targets being missed, inflation, rate hikes, something much bigger has actually quietly happened inside the property market. Two new waves have just slammed into...
It's the key words. We're right there.
Okay, so new data mathematically proves something about the government's 5% deposit scheme that they will never admit publicly. And if you're planning to enter the property market in 2026 or 2027, this will directly affect you. Hey guys, it's Scott here, and right now, while everyone is distracted by corruption scandals, budget blowouts, housing targets being missed, inflation, rate hikes, something much bigger has actually quietly happened now while everyone is distracted by corruption scandals affect you. Hey guys, it's Scott here, and right now, while everyone is distracted by corruption scandals, budget blowouts, housing targets being missed, inflation, rate hikes, something much bigger has actually quietly happened inside the property market.
Australia is going to pop soon. Australia has more pedophiles in high positions of government and on the Supreme Court of Australia than any other country in the world. Australia is going to explode when pedophilia at the Prime Minister and Supreme Court Justice level is fully revealed to the Australian public.
In January, your government rammed through a bill in one day that can ban entire organisations even if no crime has been committed. And now Parliament is considering a bill to permanently establish Australia as an authoritarian police state. It would entrench secret police powers that include detaining and interrogating without any judicial oversight. Provisions that allow the government to jail journalists who expose government crimes. Powers that can be used on children as young as 14. And if this bill passes, these powers will never expire. I'm Robert Barwick from the Australian Citizens Party. If you believe Australia should never become an authoritarian police state, I urge you now to sign our petition against this map.
Don't do it. You only register in your displeasure. Think about this. Think about what he's saying here. What he wants you to do. Right? Think about what he's asking you to do and then listen to the rest of the story. And you tell me if it's smart to do this or not. Oh, let's sign a petition that could get us locked up for signing a petition. You'd have to be an idiot.
Madness. Please stay with me because what I'm about to explain affects every Australian family. The bill in question was introduced in Parliament in August 2025. It's called the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation Amendment Bill Number 2, 2025. It is the latest bill to expand ASIO's powers to operate as a secret police. That's right, a secret police. Something which is supposed to be a feature of so-called authoritarian regimes, not democratic countries. After the shock of the 9/11 terrorist attacks in 2001, Australians were told extraordinary powers were temporarily needed to stop imminent threats. Those powers allowed ASIO to detain and interrogate people without normal judicial oversight, forcing them to answer questions with no right to silence. Even back then, many Australians warned that this crossed a dangerous line. It violated a basic democratic principle, the separation of powers. Policing is supposed to be carried out by civilian police under judicial oversight. Independent judges are required to approve warrants. Instead of requiring ASIO to get a warrant from a judge, ASIO only needed the approval of the Attorney General, i.e. the government, a blatant breach of the separation of powers. These powers were only approved by Parliament in 2003 because they added a sunset clause to make them temporary. However, once they were introduced, they never went away. Instead, they expanded. Over the years since 9/11, the age for interrogation was lowered. The scope of issues widened beyond terrorism, and journalists were threatened with prison for reporting on ASIO operations, even if they exposed wrongdoing. Now, the government wants to go even further. This latest bill would allow ASIO to use these coercive powers across all of its activities. And most alarmingly, it would repeal the sunset clause entirely, locking these powers in forever. That's what makes this moment different. When temporary, these emergency powers were bad enough. If made permanent, Australians will be accepting we are now a police state. And here's the question every Australian should ask. With all these extraordinary powers,
Been in police state for years.
why wasn't ASIO able to stop the Bondi attack by a perpetrator already known to the agency? Where is the accountability? Why does ASIO boss Mike Burgess still have a job? In a healthy democracy, agencies that fail so catastrophically are investigated and leadership is held to account. Instead, the government's response is to grant even more power, including the power to recommend banning organisations. Australia's leading constitutional expert, Emerita Professor Anne Toomey, warned this banning power, as written, has so few protections it would allow a future government to even ban political parties, such as the Citizens Party. This is how freedom is lost, not overnight, but step by step, until people wake up and realise the country they thought they lived in is gone. Do you want Australia to have a secret police? Do you want children as young as 14 to be interrogated? Is it a good idea to jail journalists for up to 10 years for...
Right, fuck off, it's enough of that. Do you want this shit to just keep going on and on and on and on? Even if you win this one, what happens next? What happens with the next lot? What happens when fucking Communist Hanson comes in? I don't fucking think she's fucking here for your freedom. She's here for hers. You see, the Attorney General sacked Gough Whitlam. Albert Pike, the great Freemason, said, "When the people need a hero, we shall provide them with one." Straight up to Gough Whitlam come Malcolm Fraser. When the people need a hero, we shall provide them with one. So they throw everyone else under the bus and fucking up from the ashes rises Pauline Hanson like a red-headed phoenix. Don't want to do it. You see, why is he still working for ASIAC? Why are you still working for the government? Why are you still paying them? Why do you pay them to work for them? Have you ever thought that? Like, that's fucking retarded. You're paying them so you can work for them while they keep you captive in an abusive relationship with the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome the world's ever seen. An entire country with Stockholm Syndrome. It's fucking pathetic. Anyway, it's gone on long enough. There's no political solution. You can't legislate morality, and there's no political solution to a spiritual problem. All that's doing is keeping you engaged with the system. They don't care. They will offer you a solution, a short-term solution. Right, you signed a petition. Imagine if nobody signed the petition, nobody, and it still went through. Because that's probably the plan, to give us a win. You know, like, remember when you was a kid, learning to play certain games with your grandfather? And to keep you engaged so that you didn't give up and you'd learn to play the game better, they'd let you win now and then. Remember that? My granddad used to do that. He was a legend chess player. He used to let me win now and then, and I'm like, come on, Granddad, you let me win. And eventually when I got older, he goes, yeah, but if I had never let you win, would you have kept trying to learn? And what did you learn from the game? To watch the whole board. To try and look for the gameplay. And then you start looking half a game ahead. Once you start to learn the strategy of your opponent. How many different strategies does the opponent have? It's like my missing teeth. It's one of my greatest strategies I have. It's great. I love it. It's a superpower. I used to be embarrassed by it. Not anymore. I use it to my advantage. I find out what the person I'm talking to is made of when I first meet them. And sometimes I'll act like I'm as dumb as I look. It gives them a false sense of confidence.